Hey everyone, it's Jessica, and today I'm coming through with a video about whether or not a perfect wife really exists. And if it does, what does she look like? What does she do? What type of characteristics does she really embody? I'm going to be starting from the book of Proverbs, chapter 31, and the verse I'll be starting at today is verse 10. And the excerpt of what I'm reading is called The Perfect Wife. So verse 10. How hard it is to find the perfect wife. She is worth far more than jewels. Her husband depends on her. He will never be poor. She does good for her husband all her life. She never causes him trouble. She is always gathering wool and flax and enjoys making things with her hands. She is like a ship from a faraway place. She brings home food from everywhere. She wakes up early in the morning, cooks food for her family, and gives the servants their share. She looks at land and buys it. So far, we can see that she is a hardworking and dependable woman. It says that she does good for her husband all her life, so that's basically her purpose. She's serving and walking in her purpose. She's always gathering wool and flax and enjoys making things with her hands. So she's definitely someone who creates things, and probably even, and I'm sure further along it'll say that she sells those things. She is like a ship from a faraway place. She brings home food from everywhere. She wakes up early in the morning, cooks food for her family, and gives the servants their share. So she also has people working for her. So she does work, but she's also a boss. So she's kind of like a modern day CEO, of her house. But she still has people to help her. She still has a team. So at verse 16 it says, she looks at land and buys it. So she's an investor. She uses the money she has earned and plants a vineyard. So she has one business and then starts another one. So she's definitely a business starter. She looks at land and buys it. She uses the money she has earned and plants a vineyard. Okay, so she invests her money in buying land, which then is going to give her a return on investment by planting in her vineyard. Take notes. Take notes. So she works very hard. She is strong and able to do all her work. She works late into the night to make sure her business earns a profit. Ding, 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 ding. So she works late into the night to make sure her business earns a profit. For people who think that 5 o'clock, is the end of business day, sometimes it may not be, for the Proverbs 31 woman. Maybe 8 o'clock, maybe 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock perhaps, as far as the end of her business day in the home goes. She makes her own thread and weaves her own cloth. She makes her own thread and weaves her own cloth. So she's also a clothing designer. I think that's, okay, so that's her second business. Okay, make sure y'all taking notes. She always gives to the poor and helps those who need it. So giving back to the needy. She does not worry about her family when it snows. She has given them all good warm clothes. So basically, she is taking care of the home in such a way that when it's cold outside, she makes sure that, the children, her husband, everyone in the household has the necessary clothing to go out and still stay alive, basically, and not get hypothermia. She makes sheets and spreads for the beds, and she wears clothes of fine linen. From what I'm reading in this passage, she invests in land. She has a vineyard. Well, she plants crops in a vineyard. Then it says that she makes her own thread and weaves her own cloth. So that's number 3. And then she makes sheets and spreads for the bed, and she wears clothes of fine linen. So I think that's, from what I gather, from what I'm reading, for specialized skills, there you go, that she's good at, and therefore probably makes a profit from. Her husband is a respected member of the city council, where he meets with the other leaders. She makes clothes and belts and sells them to the merchants. Okay, so actually this is probably her third business. So she invests in land and then she plants a vineyard, and then she makes clothes and belts and sells them to the merchants. So far, that's about 3 things that she has done business-wise. She invests in land, plants a vineyard, makes clothes and belts, and sells them to the merchants. Take notes. She is a strong person and people respect her. She looks to the future with confidence. She speaks with wisdom and teaches others to be loving and kind. She oversees the care of her house. She is never lazy. Her children say good things about her. Her husband brags about her and says, "There are many good women, but you are the best." Can we go over that verse one more time? So we'll start from verse 28 to 29. Her husband brags about her and says, "There are many good women, but you are the best." Period. Grace and beauty can fool you, but a woman who respects the Lord should be praised. Give her the reward she deserves. Praise her in public for what she has done. After reading this, there is such thing as the perfect wife. It goes to show what can be exemplified in today's society. Like a lot of times we talk about the it girl or that girl or becoming this girl, becoming that girl. And I don't know if anyone's really talking about becoming that wife. Like literally becoming that wife, like becoming the perfect wife. And I'm so glad that the book of Proverbs 31 goes to show us women who are desiring to get married or who are already married or in the beginning stages of marriage, wherever you're at as a female, we have something to go by and really live like a happier, a healthier, and even better life, knowing that we're doing something right and not just doing it because we think that it's right, but it's right in God's eyes. So basically what I took away from this is that a perfect wife stays home. She takes good care of the household. She makes sure her husband is straight. She makes sure the children are straight. But she's also a business starter, a businesswoman, a CEO of her own businesses. It seems to me as though she has 3, right? She started 3. She did the land. She invested in the land. She planted a vineyard, and then she sold clothes and belts to the merchants. As far as verse 13 goes, it says she is always gathering wool and flax and enjoys making things with her hands. As far as flax is concerned, it was a plant used to make linen cloth. So just to clarify, that was a plant to make linen cloth. Hope you enjoyed watching this video, learned something new. If you did, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, make sure you enjoy the journey. Peace.